Hello. Well, it's been a while since I just turned the camera on without a clue of what was to be said. It's lovely outside right now. It's raining and the sun's shining and the birds are feeding and you may hear some thunder. And there's even a rainbow or two behind me there, so you can see the sun shining. What to say? I don't know. I'm just now getting to a very full email box. I guess I'll go for them about half dozen at a time, and eventually I'll catch up with my messages and comments and so on. I get too many these days, so I won't be answering absolutely everything, and I'll just have to ask you to forgive me for that. A lot of people share videos with me and so on, and I just have too much, so I have to go by heart with what I choose and what I don't. But I'm sure that if you go by heart when you send me things, if your heart says send it, my heart will say open it up, check it out. All right, so what's new? Will you tell me what's not? You know? Life is constantly different for us when we live in heart. Only in head is it the oh dear, ho-hum, humdrum sort of experience. I'm enjoying a particular video right now by Michael Tsarion. It's on 2012, The Future of Mankind. I recommend it highly. He does a good job. There's nobody who I agree with everything they say, but Tsarion's work is really good. It's really solid. He documents what he said, what he says, and what he says is pretty interesting. What he picks out from what's available across the board in science and in just all the things that he's interested in. You can tell when someone is following their heart and when they're really into what they're doing. It shines, it shows, it's just obvious, and there's such an extra increment of consciousness that flows through that's not available when someone is in the ho-hum state and doing things just because they feel they should or ought to be doing them. My friend and I are trying to eliminate all of those sort of words, should and ought and need to and have to and those kind of things, because those are words that manipulate the true understanding of choice. You know? Who says you should do this or that? Who's in charge of you? Oh dear, I guess we'll pause it here. Okay, now that was interesting. I don't always answer. Usually when I do, there's a good reason. Intuition just works that way. This was an automated service that I've joined. I live out in the country. I don't listen to radio or television anymore. And it seems that the government, the federal government, is funding emergency weather notification programs. And so I thought I'd join up. I found it highly interesting, though. Oh, and there's a thunderstorm warning here. I think I had that figured out. Anyway, I want to offer a caution on this program, this emergency notification, and the caution is don't give them your cell phone number. I think what they're doing really is just trying to create a database of cell phone numbers. They tried very hard to get mine. Some people don't believe you when you tell them you don't have a cell phone. You know, the directories aren't so accessible for people's cell numbers, and I think this is a cagey way to go about getting a database of those. So just a thought, you know, if you join the the network and get notified, use your landline. You know, I tell you, I just don't trust anything. And why should I? I mean, I trust myself. I trust the light. I trust the intent of spirit and source and my link up with that. And that's enough. So anyway, I was telling you about Michael Tsarion's video, and I'll put a link in with this video to point you to it. I love his attitude. He is not at all an alarmist. He does not inspire fear, though he talks of things that other people use to brew up quite a batch of terror and anxiety and discomfort. You get little things out of it, like I didn't know that the word apocalypse, I think he says it means a leather suit or a leather clothing, something like that, so a leather covering. And so he's got an interesting angle and take on things that will surprise many people. Now, maybe not you. If you're listening to a vlog like this, maybe not you. Maybe you know quite a bit. But I love finding such videos. Such videos as that I even download, either just in case they disappear from the net and get taken off, or if, like now, where I live, when it rains, I lose my internet connection. And so if I want to watch something and it's on the internet, I'm out of luck, as long as the weather is like this. So it's nice to have it there on your hard drive, your thumb drive, whatever it is. Okay, what's to share? Well, I don't know. I'm different. How about you? I find I don't exactly know how often until I journal, or until I share in conversation with a friend, or until someone sends me a message or comments on a video or something like that. It seems that it takes our interaction in some way in order to reveal myself to me. Now, I know I'm a bit strange, but I don't think I will be for long. I think a lot of us are joining me in this heart space, which is so very different, oh boy, from being in mind. The electricity's flagging a bit, you know. The computer's hooked up to, you know, it has a battery, it's a laptop. I don't know about the webcam. We'll see if I make it through this. Well, I'll share the obvious, something interesting. For, I'd say, probably 20 plus years, I've had a collection in like those sectioned off tackle box or crafts boxes of crystals. I love crystals, you know that, and not just rock crystal, but also lead crystal. And so I used to go to secondhand stores, antique shops, and look for old crystal necklaces and jewelry. And I would generally cut it up. And once upon a time, I had thoughts of making prayer beads, of making rosaries. I wasn't Catholic anymore, oh boy, but prayers are a good thing, you know, and beads are just a counting device to help you keep track in the midst of your meditation. And for those who can't identify with that, you know, be open to a different perspective. Prayers or mantras are not meant to be mind-numbing things. They're meant to be a vehicle for raising consciousness, for contemplation, for going within. And so it's not rote repetition although it may look like that on the surface. And for some people, sure, that's what it is. When we're not conscious, when we're not present there, that's what happens. You know, you get into the roteness of it. It's a good way to measure your presence, your I amness, your am I here in this moment now-ness, if you're into that sort of thing. Anyway, I don't do that anymore. I've actually taken the rosaries that I have and cut them up. And so I've had beads like this from necklaces and so on in my collection for decades now. And I even have the various bits, parts, pieces, and tools that you need to string them. I didn't do very well at learning to manipulate the metal to do the links for the rosaries, but that's just as well. Turns out I don't want to do that anyway. But I have wanted to put them together in necklaces and earrings and things like this, and yet 20 years and more, I never made anything. Now, I have, I'm sure, at least a couple of thousand beads. And so that's kind of strange, huh? To have them, to have everything I need to do it, and I've gotten them out, and it felt like the inspiration wasn't there or something. I felt inept, inadequate, I don't know. I didn't know how to do it, but how hard can that be? Hello? There's the internet. So there's no excuse that works along those kind of lines. I could have looked it up. Why was I frozen? I don't know. But the fact is, with my friend here, she's comfortable making such things. And so she's the one, I think I showed you last time, my Moldavite. I can get it closer to the camera now. It's kind of neat. It's a nice stone. Do you know what Moldavite is? It's said to be from meteors, or I guess when they hit the earth, they are meteorites that fell in what is now the Czech Republic. I guess once upon a time it was Moldova. I don't know. I used to think it was Moldavia, but a friend said it was Moldova, so pardon my ignorance of geology. Most Americans are like that. Our schooling is pathetic. But anyway, that's off track. So now that my friend's here, I'm making these things right, left, and center and having a blast. So most everything that you'll see me wear now will be something that I made. And it's fun. It's inspiring. There's a great deal of joy in it. Why is that? I haven't a clue. Does it matter? I mean, you know, can you find your joy? Does it need to make sense for you to give yourself permission to do whatever it is that makes you so happy? I hope not. You know, let's all learn to love ourselves and do what we really want to do. And it's kind of a neat trick to even find what it is you want. We're so busy with the nose to the grindstone thing, huh? Hopefully we're coming up and out of that a good deal so that each one can find your own joy. Do I have anything else? I don't think so. I don't know anymore. If I do, I'll be back. Good day. And I just have to, I have too much, so I have to go by heart with what I choose and what I don't. But I'm sure that if you go by heart when you send me things, if your heart says send it, my heart will say open it up, check it out. All right, so what's new? Will you tell me what's not? Shining and the birds are feeding and you may hear some thunder. And there's even a rainbow or two behind me there, so you can see the sun shining. What to say? I don't know. I'm just now getting to a very full email box. I guess I'll go for them about half dozen at a time and eventually I'll catch up with my messages and comments and so on. I get too many these days, so I won't be answering absolutely everything, and I'll just have to ask you to forgive me for that. A lot of people share videos with me and so on. Hello. Well, it's been a while since I just turned the camera on without a clue of what was to be said. It's lovely outside right now. It's raining and the sun's, you know. Um, Life is constantly different for us when we live in heart. Only in head is it the oh dear, ho hum, humdrum sort of experience. Um, I'm enjoying a particular